There's a running joke on my channel, which I use at the end of every review. After I've rated a story out of 10, I add, "Still not as good as Phoenix Rising." If anyone listened to this channel, by now they'd probably be wondering, what's this Phoenix Rising Kenta's always going on about? Apparently, it's a fan-made Pokemon game in the works at the time of this recording. But before that, Phoenix Rising was a fanfic written in 1999 for adult audiences. According to a fellow fan from Sierra Mana Library, the author, quote, was involved in an internet debate about whether or not Pokemon was too conceptually childish to be appreciated by anyone in their teens or older. In response, he authored a work of Pokemon fanfiction starring Merlin Durai called Phoenix Rising. Thanks for the info, Brandon Midway. I was 12 at the time, on the verge of adolescence, and delirious with Pokemon fever when I came across this story. It blew my fucking mind. Here were Pokemon that actually killed people and were capable of resurrecting them. Their trainers weren't 10-year-old children, but sword-wielding, gun-slinging badasses who even the Pokemon League couldn't handle. Their enemies were hellish entities with obscure motives, uncompromising and virtually invincible. The first line of the Pokemon theme song comes to mind. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Well, this is what the best look like, and it fascinated me. I've read dozens of Pokemon fanfics throughout my youth, but none have stuck with me like Phoenix Rising. Now, I know I'm setting expectations extraordinarily high, because this is basically the Bible of my inner child. But this story is not perfect, even though it is. There are several inconsistencies. Certain phrases are repeated over and over. The writing is, at times, pretentious, and the story lacks an ending. I mean, there's a climax and a falling action, but no conclusion. Not cool, Mike. Finally, there's the, bestiality theme. Mike doesn't go so far as to bang a fox, thank God, but there's more to it than the picture here lets on. That said, it's a good love story, and it intertwines cleverly with the main story. To sum up, I'm not blinded by impressions from my childhood adoration of Phoenix Rising. There are some things you revisit as an adult and wonder why you ever liked them as a kid. Power Rangers, Sonic Underground, stop-motion Christmas movies. But then there are other things that really were as good as you remember, if not better. Phoenix Rising has stood the test of time. And I'm totally gonna give it a 10 out of 10 when it's time to review. Then, at midnight, I came in through his window, still in my cursed human form, and smiled when I saw him, sound asleep. I hadn't been possessed, but something lingered in my mind, telling me I was doing the right thing. That the race way was the right way. It was overwhelming, and I was still too weak to resist it. "Oh, my sweet Michael," I said, as I stepped up to his bed. "Look at you, a white Viplash you have become. And why? Because you could never accept that you and I are destined to be together." I placed my hand over his forehead. "I can heal you, but in return, you must come with me and complete the Wraith's holy mission. This will feel strange at first, but you will adapt to it, and soon you will learn to love it." That should have been the end of it. The Wraiths should have had a Phoenix trainer as one of their minions. But something happened, something no man on Earth could have ever explained. Just when Michael was beginning to intake whatever it was I had unknowingly given him, the room seemed to grow brighter. My first thought was that a searchlight had been shined through the window. I backed away from the bed and ducked down under the window. The light didn't pass over like I thought it would. It grew brighter, and then Michael sat up from the bed. You couldn't have done that!" I blurted out, the evil in me in even greater shock. Michael's entire cast of bandages fell to the floor, and he stood there, perfectly intact, wearing sneakers, blue jeans, a white t-shirt, and his black leather jacket with the orange phoenix on the back. His eyes slowly opened, and to my absolute horror, they were glowing the color of the purest gold. "What the—" I stumbled to my feet, turned around to run, and found myself cornered at the wall. "No!" I shouted. "By all the gods! What are you?"
"You shall never have one of my children!"
he shouted in a voice that echoed through my brain.
"This has gone far enough, and I have come to put an end to your evil ways. Tell your masters exactly what I have told you." You have gone too far, and now the time has come. The time has come at last!
He raised his hands in the air.
The time has come for Phoenix Rising!